Note from Breaky Police, let's protect our peace. Team Megbeth is next race. We expect their... Cape Cod was peaceful last night, and nothing occurred. It's a slow news day.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! Sonic the Chow and a frog seen running in the grass! It's a slow news day.
And wait, this is a thing I can do? Hot diggity dog. Let's do it. That means it's time for the next Grand Prix already. Oh. I'm really glad I went poking around my settings and stuff. It ended up being quite a good plan. Alright, so... I still don't get why there's two Laluzas, so I'm going to choose Laluza Great Condition, because they're in great condition. And I'm still going to stick by... Alright. So I didn't pray, but I guess it worked out anyway, because the prayer to do well in the cup doesn't... Loses in good condition anyway, and the prayer to do well in the cup doesn't seem to help much the last two times. Alright. Well, I'm glad that we're doing something now. Dangerous White. Alright, and then this stuff, and... Now, I should clear something up real quick. That's actually been a major source of controversy. Not really, I'm just joking. I realized that I could just keep the propeller and the skis on at all times. But I'm weird and I don't like to do that. I don't like bringing parts into a race that I won't use. Even if they're just replaced with cosmetic parts that I also won't actually help me. I prefer to, like, I don't know. I'm just weird that way. Alright, start your engines. Alright, I can dig this meter. For some reason I'm thinking it's Mario Kart and you actually get something from doing that. Alright, this is off to a great start in last place. No, I'll just keep saying as many times as I need to for these from now on. I want to get to the point of this walkthrough. This Let's Play is fun and all. This game is fun and all, but I'd kind of like to someday get back to Night in the Woods. Because, you know, just kind of get this off my conscience. I've ranted about this non-stop. You guys don't need to listen to me more talk about how long this Let's Play's been going on. I think I make one comment like that, like per, not even segment, but episode. It's always just like, oh, this Let's Play has been going on for 7 years, ha 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 ha, laugh track plays. Whee! So I need to take particular care to win the next Grand Prix that Barrett's in, because that apparently, like, has real-world consequences. It's grounded in reality and full of real-world problems. I'm just ignoring what everyone else is saying and trying to focus on racing as efficient. I'm even ignoring like the places. I'm just trying to not mess up so hard. Something's gonna have to sacrifice. Last time I sacrificed my commentary, and I'm gonna see how well I can do without having the video be too boring. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Alright, so now I should take this opportunity to try and get as much of a lead on the competition as possible, so that whenever they inevitably overtake me, I'll be able to recover easier. Brown breaks white crap. Okay, no, I really just not do that. That's a joke which I stole from a different Let's Player, so I don't want to be a foolish copycat. I think I'm gonna take a pit stop after this lap. My tires are getting pretty worn down. I was considering taking one after lap 1, but I didn't think it'd be strategically smart to take a pit stop after every single lap, so I'll just go for 2 and 4, as usual. I guess a lot of the strategy kind of depends upon whether the pit stop is before or after the finish line. If it's before the finish line, then... If it's after the finish line, then doing it on 1, 3, and 5 is viable. Yeah, everyone's starting to pass me up, which usually means that... my speed is lowering from the tires being messed up. Also, I can't, like, see anything in this level. Get out of my way, you hippie freak. Oh, that reminds me. I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but who remembers way back in the day, in Gadget Racers Part 5, or it was very early in the Let's Play, there was this episode where I just acted like a complete maniac throughout the whole thing. It was like screaming and laughing and giggling about absolutely nothing. And that's what started like whenever I screamed at a car to get out of my way, hippie, and also called someone Hitler because they passed me. Does anyone remember that video? Because like, I don't know if I've ever told the story about why I was being weird that day. It's actually kind of a odd one. You see, that was when that Let's Play was being made when I was in 7th grade. And so I was just going through, like, you know, changes in your psychology and your body and all that. I won't get into the details because this is a kid's game. But basically, I had my first, like, real major serious crush. I don't want to give real names for privacy's sake, so I'll just give her the fake name of Zoe. So, Zoe was in my history class. And yeah, so I already explained, I had a huge crush on her. And here's how I dealt with that. I did not ever say that I liked her or tried to be friends or anything. I just sat there in the corner and awkwardly and never said anything and was like, wow, look at her. And that's the person I have a crush on. And then I didn't say anything or do anything, and it was magnificent. And that all changed one day. Whenever we were in the gym, because the 8th graders were doing like some star testing crap. So we were both me and Zoe were in the same multimedia class at the time. Oh no! Oh no! Oh man, that was bad. Hey, why are you in the back? Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. And so all the electives had to go into the gym because those are the only classes that 7th graders and 8th graders shared, and the 8th graders were off testing, so they couldn't have class, I guess. Didn't make a lot of sense. So it's just kind of the whole like 7th grade class sitting around the gym, just chatting and doing nothing. And so I was sitting with my... Oh no. I might need to restart this if this keeps going south. So February 13, 2011, or whatever year that was. Because I don't remember anymore. No, was it? Is it February? It was sometime in early February. No, I think it was the 10th. No, the 8th. It was the 8th. We were in that gym. Yeah, I think I actually kind of want to take a... it's too late to take a pit stop. Never mind. Alright. I'm somehow in first again. Don't ask me how that happened. Don't ask me why, cause I don't need to be... Anyways, back to the story. Wow, I'm suddenly like way ahead of everyone. Oh, you know what? It's probably because they all took a pit stop. Which means they're all going to take me at the end of the 4th lap. Oh boy. This is going to be interesting, folks, I'll tell you that much. So I was sitting with my frequent Let's Play collaborator, the 12th kind, aka Doorman. I'll just call him Doorman, because that rolls off the tongue easier. And he seems to be pretty fine with the nickname, even though we originally gave him the nickname to make fun of him. But... anyways, and he also still watches these videos, so I can't say anything bad about him. Hi, Doorman. So, he and I were sitting with this guy. I want to say his name was Christian. I didn't really know him. He was Doorman's friend. And just kind of... I was just sitting there, like, being an angsty teenager and not saying anything. And then, like... I got all... So... because of I had this obsessive crush at the time, my first thought was, I wonder what Zoe is up to. And then... I looked up around to see where she was, and she was sitting near the middle of the bleachers with her... some of her friends. So I was all like... Actually, I wasn't all like anything. I didn't do anything. I just sat there and just watched her interact with her friends, and was kind of, I guess, in hindsight, it kind of was creepy that I just sat there and stared at her. But hey, I didn't know any better. And then, but actually, this other, suddenly I was being marauded by a totally different group of girls. Led by, let's see here. I'm gonna change the names to the innocent again, so I'll change her name to, Diana. Yeah. Diana from Little Witch Academia. So she came over, and then she was all like, hey, what the heck, man? Why are you staring at me? And I'm like, I'm not. I was like, I guess they just saw me looking in their general direction and assumed that I was, like, planning a heist. I don't know. So then they're like, oh, well, this is a mystery. Now we have to find out who you actually were looking at. Then, and they eventually did figure out that who it was. And then I said that there was a hurl of girls that was around me, but that's actually not entirely true. There was one guy. His name was, let's see here. What should his name be? His name was Anthony. Let's call him Anthony. And then he was like, don't worry, man. Your secret is safe with us. We won't tell anyone that you have a crush on this girl. The next day, February 9th, we were back in the gym again because my school could not plan anything worth a crap, apparently. And so I was sitting, we had to, at the beginning of class, sit over with our classes so that the teachers could take attendance. So I was sitting there, and Zoe was sitting like a few feet from me, just kind of sitting there. And then, yes, Anthony comes up to me, and he was like, hey, bro, you know that girl you have a crush on named Zoe? And I was like, hey, shut the I didn't swear, but I'd say, hey, shut up, man. And then he was like, oh no, that's her sitting right next to him. Sorry. And he walked away. I was just like, well, I'm gonna die now. And then I died, and that's the end of the story. No, not really. So I was back with Doorman and Christian. I realized I gave Christian's real name, but I don't really remember who he was anyway, so it's not like it matters. Again, they were doing this like weird like comedy routine where Doorman was like pretending to be a zombie, and I just kind of like didn't care. And then, so, Anthony just going back and forth between me and Zoe, trying to, like, get us together. I guess he felt like he owed it to himself, or to me, or whatever. And eventually, he did, convince me to go over and sit with her and her friends. Her friends were named, fake names. I'm gonna call her friends Angie and Ruth. One of them was kind of this, one of them was also someone who I became friends with after that. Angie was kind of very, like, nice and, like, hyperactive, and we got along pretty well. And Ruth was actually someone who I was friends with in elementary school. So I went over to Hake Down, and it was very awkward and, like, tense, because everyone knew that I had a huge crush on Zoe, and I was, like, obsessive and weird about it. But they were like, I don't know, so it was interesting, and then they were trying to, like, tease us about it. So it was, I guess it was pretty fun, but it was also really, like, unnerving and weird. Junior high. So after that, I was wondering, like, well, now that I've made that first step, maybe we'll actually be able to, like, be dating, or at least be friends. And nothing really happened with it after that, except that I became friends with Angie, and whatever. I don't even remember the fake name I made up 2 minutes ago. And at the end of the year, she actually did start sort of, I say dating someone else, but you know, it's junior high, you're not really dating anyone, it's just kind of pointlessness. And thanks for representing Oluza. But yeah, the day in which I recorded that, the 9th of February, was the same day I recorded that Gadget Racers Part 5, or whichever part it was, where I was acting like an idiot. So that's why I was acting that way. because I was so shaken from the events of that day that I just had absolutely no focus and just was being totally goofy. Sky Highway, one of my favorites. Let's do this. So yeah, that was my story. And then after 8th grade, Zoe moved away. She kind of moved a lot, I think. She went to a different high school, which actually was in the same region as me, but we still never saw each other again. Which is alright, because I did kind of horribly screw up my chances with her, so I had, at this point, long gotten over it. At some point, when I was in my junior year of high school, I actually messaged her on Facebook. We weren't friends on Facebook, but I just kind of found her profile. And then, so I just like, hey, sorry I was so awkward and weird back in 7th grade. Hope you're having a good life. And then she didn't respond for over a year, for whatever reason. Either because I could theorize as to why this is, but maybe she never used her Facebook, which honestly fair. Facebook kind of is horrible, and I kind of wish I didn't have to use it. But also, when Facebook treats messages you get from people you aren't friends with in a really weird way. Like, when I was in college, at one point, I discovered like a bunch of messages people had sent me that I never saw because Facebook didn't actually show them to me. And it just ranged from like a year or two back, so I was like, oh gosh. All these people were trying to contact me. It might be something like that, who knows. But yeah, she kind of had this like vague message about like, I mean, you weren't too bad. Anyways, we're becoming adults now, woohoo. I don't really remember how it went, but anyway, it was nice to have some sense of reconciliation, I guess. Alright, now what do I talk about? Oh, maybe I should have taken a pit stop there. Well, this is actually a shorter course, surprisingly, so I think I'll be okay taking one after the 3rd lap. So, I don't know if I ever told that full story before, but it's near and dear to my heart, because it's a lesson of what not to do when you have a crush on someone, pretty much. You're nothing! No, Anya, you're nothing. You are nothing but zeros and ones, and confined to this game console. You know, the main reason why I got a new PS2, instead of just moving everything over to the PS3 I had, was actually just to continue this Let's Play and nothing else. Because, you know, I can't... the PS2 memory cards don't work with the PS3, so... It's amazing how dedicated I am to finishing this, despite the fact that I never make videos about it. And now I'll talk about every single one of my crushes I've ever had in my life. No, I won't. Maybe some other time. None of the stories are quite as awkward and bad as the first one. So, although, I guess some of them get pretty close. I always wonder what my roommates think whenever they just hear me talking to myself in my room. I mean, that's not too unusual for me, since I sometimes just talk to myself even when I'm not recording. And I also have an audio journal I do, so I talk to myself for that. And a lot of times I'm talking to Haley, so... But they can't hear her audio, so it sounds like I'm talking to myself. I don't know, probably used to it. Alright, that's 2 down. 2 down, 3 to go. Another race, 1 more show. Come on, Haluza. Yes, Haluza got 3rd. That helps quite a bit. And now we're back in the leaders as a team. Oh, this is the same part set as the last one.